Hello everyone. I am going to discuss with you joint and combined variation. So to start with, let us first discuss joint variation. So the objective of this topic is for you to define joint variation. Represent a joint variation as an equation. Solve for the constant and the unknown in a joint variation and solve problems on joint variation. So what is joint variation? So the statement A varies jointly as B and C means A equals KBC or K equals A over BC, where K is the constant of variation. So let's have example. The area of a triangle varies jointly as its base and its altitude. So let us first write this equation. So we have the area of a triangle varies jointly as base and its height. So we have K, B, H. So what do you think is the constant of variation in area of a triangle? So we all know that the formula in finding the area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 base times height. So therefore, 1/2 is the constant of variation in area of a triangle. Next, the pressure of a gas varies jointly as its density and its absolute temperature. So if we are going to write this, we have P equals K D T. So we have variable D for density and variable T for absolute temperature. So as you observe, in joint variation, we have more than two variable, unlike in direct variation. But still, the two variable multiplied. Okay, let us have example for joint variation. So what you're going to do is to translate each statement into a mathematical sentence. So use K as constant of variation. So yung K, variable K, yun yung lagi yung ginagamit natin as the constant of variation. Now, let's start with number 1. P varies jointly as Q and R. So, use the available variable in the sentence. So, that's why we have P equals K, Q, R. Then next, V varies jointly as L, W, and H. Okay, so V equals K, L, W, H. Then next, the area A of a parallelogram varies jointly as the base B and altitude H. So we have A equals KBH. Next, the volume of a cylinder V varies jointly as its height H and the square of the radius. So R. So we have V equals KHR squared. So take note of uh, this variable. We have RH or HR or R squared because it is stated in the sentence that we have square square of the radius R. So meaning to say this is referred to R squared. Next, the heat H produced by an electric lamp varies jointly as the resistance R and the square of the current I. So we have H equals KRI squared. So the same case with number 4, square of the current. So that's why we have I squared. Okay. So the last 5 question is given to you. So let's see if you know how to write each statement to mathematical sentence. Okay, so now let's answer number 6. So number 6, we have P equals KMA. Number 7, B equals KBH. Number 8 is A equals KBH. Number 9, S equals KWD. And number 10, B equals KIR. So now, let's solve joint variation. So number 1, find an equation of variation where A varies jointly as B and C, and A equals 36 when B is 3 and C is 4. So what you're going to do here is to write first the equation based from the sentence. So find an equation of the variations where A varies jointly as B and C. So we have A equals K, B, C. Since we have already given A, which is 36, B is 3, and C is 4, what you're going to do is to find for K. So, substitute lang muna natin yung lahat ng nasa given. A equals 36, K is unknown, B is 3, then C is 4. So, multiply lang. 3 times 4 is 12, K. Then, just copy 36. So, divide both sides by 12. Then, K equals 3. So, since you have already the constant of variation, you will just substitute the constant of variation to the equation kanina. So, therefore, the equation of the variation is A equals 3BC. So, eto na yung equation ng number 1. Okay, next. Z varies jointly as X and Y. So, let us first write this equation. C varies jointly as X and Y. If C equals 16, when X is 4 and Y is 6, find the constant of variation and the equation of the relation. So, we have C is 16 from the given. K times 4, Y is 6. So, we will multiply 4 and 6. So, this is 24K, then 16. Then, divide both sides by 24. K equals 2/3. So, take note, ang i-divide natin sa 24 is the 16. 16 divided by 24, that's why we have 2/3. So, mali po yung 24/16. Hindi po 3/2. So, be careful lang sa pag-divide para makuha yung constant of variation. Now, we have already the constant of variation, which is 2/3. Let us have the equation. Z equals 2/3 X, Y. Or, you can also write this as Z equals 2XY all over 3. So, they are just the same. Okay? So, ito na yung equation natin. Number 3. The area A of a triangle varies jointly as the base B and the altitude A of a triangle. So, let us write first the equation. A equals K B A. So, if A is 65 square centimeter, B is 10 centimeter, then A is 13, find the area of a triangle whose base is 8 centimeter and 11 centimeter. Now, hanapin muna natin yung constant of variation para ma-solve natin yung isang area ng triangle which has a base of 8 and altitude 11. Okay? So we have 10 times 13, so we have 130k, then 65. So since we have this, divide both side by 130. 130. So, K is equal to, cancel na to, 130 divided by 130 is 1. So, 65 divided by 130 is 1 half. Okay, so ang constant of variation of this equation is 1 half. Then, let's find the area of a triangle whose base is 8 and altitude is 11. So, constant is 1 half. Then 8 times 11. So A equals 88 divided by 2. Then area is equal to 44. Okay, so this is therefore, the area of a triangle is 44 square centimeter. Okay, so take note lang dito, since area of a triangle, kinonfirm lang natin by using this equation, but actually, the constant of variation of an area of a triangle is 1 half. So, laging constant ng area of a triangle ang 1 half. So, next, the volume B of a prism on a square base varies jointly as the height h and the square of a side of the base. If the volume, okay, so we have first the equation B, volume B of a prism on a square base. So, meaning to say, yung volume, yung prism natin ay square yung base. So, pag ganito yung equation natin. So, B equals, varies jointly as the height and the square of side. So, we have S squared. So, if the volume is 81 cubic centimeter, when a side of a base is 4 centimeter, so equals, yung height natin is 6 centimeter, then side is 4 squared. So, K equals, 81 equals K times 6. 4 squared is 16. Equals, multiply muna natin yung 16 and 6. 96K. So, we have 81. So, divide both side by 96. So, ilagay na natin dito. 96K equals 81. Divide na lang muna natin sa 96. So, K equals K equals 81 divided by 96 is 27 over 32. So therefore, the equation is V equals H S squared, or V equals 27 H squared over 32. We go to combined variation. So in combined variation, we define combined variation, represent a combined variation as an equation, solve the equation and unknown in combined variation, and solve problems on combined variation. So what is combined variation? So the statement z varies directly as x and inversely as y means z equals kx over y, or k equals zy over x, where k is the constant of variation. So it is a variation in which the quotient of the product of two variables and a variable is a constant. So in other words, combined variation is the combination of direct and inverse. And also, there are more than two variables used in this kind of variation. Okay, so let's translate into mathematical statement using k as the constant of variation. T varies directly as a and inversely as b. So that is t equals ka over b. What if it is expressed in other variable? So y varies directly as x and inversely as the square of z. So we have y equals kx over z squared. So again, you are going to use the variable in the sentence, mathematical statement. Okay, next, p varies directly as the square of x and inversely as s. So we have p equals kx squared over s. Next, the time t required to travel is directly proportional to the distance t and inversely proportional to the rate r. So we have t equals kd over r. Next, the pressure P of a gas varies directly as its temperature T and inversely as its volume. So we have P equals KT over V. So the following are mathematical statements showing combined variation. So what you are going to do is to express this in terms of the following conditions. So for example, number 1, K equals I all over P R T. So, in terms of P, so kailangan natin mag-solve dito. So, P equals how? Using this formula. So, ang gagawin natin is magde-derive lang tayo. So, cross-multiply K P R T equals I. So, divide all by K R T para ang matira na lang dito sa side ay yung P. Okay? So, therefore, P equals I over K RT. So, this is how we derive the formula. Okay? So, I'm not going to elaborate all of this equation. Maybe for my next video, I am going to show you how to derive those equations. Okay? So, let's now proceed to solving combined variation. So, if z varies directly as x and inversely as z. So, isulat muna natin yung equation. Z varies directly as x and inversely as y. Okay? So, ito na yung equation natin. Substitute all the given. Z is 9. K is unknown. X is 6. Then y is 2. Find z when x is 8 and y is 12. So, para makuha natin yung z, hanapin muna natin yung value of x. So, substitute na muna natin to para mabilis ang pag-solve. So, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, we have already 3k equals 9. So, divide both sides by 3. K is equal to 3. Okay? Now, after that, let us use this equation to solve for z. So, therefore, z equals 3. X is 8 over 12. So, z equals, substitute muna natin to para mabilis. So, this is 2. This is 3. Then, divide natin to. This will be 1. This will be 1. So, z is equal to 2. So, yan. Without using calculator. So, that is the easiest way for you to solve the equation without the use of calculator. So, hanapin nyo lang kung alin yung pwede nang ma-simplify or yung may mga common factor. Para hindi na kayo mag-multiply ng napakahaba. Okay? So, next. T varies directly as M and inversely as the square of n. So, there is square of n is square. So, magkaiba po yung square of n sa square root of n. Okay? Yung square of n means n squared. Yung square root of n, kung may root na nakalagay siya, saka kayo maglalagay ng square root of n. Okay? So, let's solve it. T is 16 when m is 8 and n is 2. So, we have squared. So, wag muna natin i-cancel agad-agad since meron pa tayong exponent dito. So, k times 8 divided by 2 times 2, we have 4. Well, 16. So, cancel. Pwede nang i-cancel. This is 2. This will be 1. So, 2k equals 16. So, divide both sides by 2. K is equal to 8. So, yun yung concept of variation natin. Now, we are going now to use this to solve for t. So, t equals 8. M is 13. Then, n is 3. So, take note, square po yung n. So, 8 times 13, 3 squared is n. Since wala tayong common factor, pwede nyo nang i-direct na i-multiply si 8 times 13. So, 8 times 13 is 104 divided by 9. So, t is equal to 104 over 9. So this is your final answer. That's end our discussion on joint and combined variation. So thank you very much.